If you'd like some kind advisement, this is the time for you to say that you will, or is you won't, agrees to be.
Would you like some advice?
Lon, shut up. Thank you.
It hurts.
Please.
Just play, please, today.
Could you please bet? I'll see you.
Call.
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 Okay, what do you got? Pair of fives with an ace. High.
Oh, boy. Whoa.
Oh!
Kings and queens.
Full house?
Sure is. That beats the three deuces that I stayed in with.
I'm the papa. Good deal.
It's your deal.
Why do you always do that?
Annie and...
You lose, you keep losing, and yet you bet.
You know why? As my old mother used to say, you can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think. Annie in, please.
Yeah, who's not in?
Guess.
See, that's mandatory.
Two?
Yes.
Those are Mr. Wolfe's colors.
Yeah, an apology of sorts.
Well, he gave that to you?
Gave is too strong a word. No, it appeared on my desk with no note after we closed the Sorrel case.
The ace means that you have to open the... Wait a minute, you're talking about the Sorrel extravaganza? This is the tie?
No, this is not the tie. It's a reasonable facsimile.
Huh. Nobody ever explained how that tie happened to get there, and I asked.
Yeah, you did. Well, now the truth can be told. See? It got there because my boss is a schlampig.
Schlamping. What's a schlamping?
Are you gonna be a while?
Oh, yes, he will.
A minute.
You see, the whole thing never would have happened if he hadn't left it on the desk. It all started at lunch. Wolfe splashed a drop of sauce from the spare ribs right on his tie. Wolfe can't stand a spot on his clothes, even in private, so he removed it and left it on his desk. I continued to dedicate my time to glaring at the necktie until the doorbell rang at 5:20. On the doorstep, I found Bertha Aaron, private secretary of Lamont Otis, who was a senior partner in the law firm of Otis, Eady, Heidecker, and Jett. She was very nervous.
It's so very confidential. I can't go to Mr. Otis about this because he's 75 and he has a bad heart, and it might kill him. Last Monday evening, I saw a member of the firm with our opponent in a very important case.
With the opposing counsel?
No, the opposing client. You see what a hole I'm in?
That might be unethical, but it might be accidental.
No. They were together in a booth in a cheap restaurant. The kind of place she would never go to, never.
The client?
Yes. Now, of course, it was conceivable, just barely, that he wasn't a traitor. So this afternoon, I went to tell him and find out. Well, the way he took it, the way it hit him, there isn't any question.
The problem, Miss Aaron, is that there are some cases that he just won't touch. Not even indirectly.
I don't understand.
All right, well, you told me the name of your firm. You said it's a big case. You said the opposing client is a woman. I read the papers. Your client is Morton Sorrell. The opposing client is Rita Sorrell, right? The actress?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. It's a divorce case.
But this isn't about the divorce.
Well, you may know that. I may know that. But, Mr. Wolfe, I can ask. But, why don't you give me the details?
As I said, I'm...
And she did tell me everything, very precisely. Everything except the name of the partner she'd seen at the lunchroom. That she refused to say until Wolfe agreed to take the case. Excuse me for interrupting.
What time is it?
19 minutes to 6.
Well, it can wait 19 minutes.
Well, okay, but When you come down and find her in the office without warning, don't start bellowing.
You violate our understanding by interrupting me.
Okay, now that you're interrupted, I might as well go on, though. So I did. Okay, look, there's this woman who came to see you. And I let her in, and she started talking
came
to
the
me about all
ticklish
this
part.
different stuff. Her firm's client is Morton Sorrell. The opposing firm's client is Mrs. Morton Sorrell.
Is that why you came prancing in here?
I didn't prance in here. I walked in here.
You know very well that I do not involve
No,
myself.
I know. You don't get evidence on a divorce, but this is different, I'm telling you.
The marital squabble is likely to be the primary issue in this case.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Send her away.
I had flubbed it. I don't like flubbing things, so I kept at it for another 10 minutes, flubbing it even more. I don't know why. I think it was Bertha Aaron's eyes. They were good eyes and looked straight at you. I arranged my face so Bertha Aaron would know Wolfe's answer was no as soon as she looked at me. But my face rearranged itself as soon as I looked at her. And there was Wolfe's tie. It never should have been there.
You can come down now. She's gone.
You said she was gone.
Well, she is. She's dead.
I presume that she was alive when you left her to come up to me.
Yes, sir. She was alive then, yeah. After I cut your necktie off...
Necktie?
Yes, the one you left in your desk.
You dare to suggest that she was strangled with my necktie?
No, I don't suggest. I state. And I will go on to state, if you hadn't left it on your desk so handy, she might not be laying there dead.
Shut up!
Or if we'd come down here sooner.
Shut up!
Yes, sir.
I will not accept it.
Do you want to make the phone call, or should I?
I gave him 5 seconds to be polite and then went to the kitchen and called the police.
I'll make the call. And, now, the roast.
You and Wolfe used the name that you withheld from me to collect a fee. Goodwin, I'm gonna get you for it. If it costs me an hour...
I've been trying to figure out for years who it is you remind me of. Now I know. An animal I once saw in a cage begins with B.
I was talking.
Yeah, and I was interrupting. Look, a woman comes here to consult with Nero Wolfe, gets murdered in his office with his necktie while he's upstairs playing with his orchids. Now, he hasn't been able to swallow any dinner. He won't even try.
My heart bleeds.
If we knew who it was, don't you think
Yeah,
that...
you'd get yourself hired to go find him.
Oh, and you say you know us? No, I would have gone after him.
Huh. Without a paying client?
No, sure I would. And with any luck, I would have brought that killer back here before you and the scientists arrive.
Yeah, this killer. How did he know she was here? How did he get in?
You know, I've gone over this with Stebbins and with Rowcliffe and with you. It's all in the statement. She left her office after she confronted him. Now, she would have been a cinch to tail. He sees her come into the famous Nero Wolfe residence, and he dials this number. Well, it didn't ring in the plant rooms where I was. It rang in the kitchen, but Fritz isn't there, see? Rings and rings and rings in the office, right under her nose. She's a trained secretary. She picks it up. He says, I'd like to offer you an explanation.
Hello?
Point is, she lets him in here. There you have it. The rest is in the report.
What the hell? But I'm warning you, Goodwin. If it costs me both eyes.
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they've gone. Fritz is standing watching the kitchen, expecting a call for food, so you better buzz him.
I don't want any food.
I'm going to bed.
Will you sleep?
If the occasion calls for it, yeah.
Because I can't. I can't even read. Have you ever known me to show rancor?
I have to look in the dictionary. What is it?
Vehement ill will, intense malignity.
Ah, no.
I have it now, and it's in the way. I can't think clearly. My brain processes are muddled. Confounded rancor, pimple on the brain. You said the Army of Occupation was gone.
Yeah. I meant to disconnect the bell for the night.
We'll do so immediately.
Yeah, I think I will. Oh, Fritz. Whoa. Steady, steady. Just here. Yep. Okay. Okay, here you are. I'll get the door. Yes, sir?
I am Lamont Otis. I am here to see Nero Wolfe about my secretary, Miss Bertha Aaron. This is Angela Page, my associate, a member of the bar.
A valued and trusted employee of yours has died by violence under my roof. I owe you an apology. A weak word. There should be a better one. If you have come to reproach me, proceed.
I have come here to find out what happened. Miss Aaron was in my confidence for many, many years, and yet I do not know why she came here.
Miss Aaron feared the effect of her problem on you.
What?
Her words, Archie.
Yeah, she said he had a bad heart, and it might kill him.
Oh, what nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. But
I do not intend to have another death under my roof to apologize for, this time induced by me.
She exaggerated it. Bertha was so devoted to Mr. Otis.
Well, are you willing to take responsibility for its effect on
well, I'll
him?
take the responsibility. After all, it's my heart.
Very well. Archie, give Mr. Otis a copy of the statement.
Angela, I do think it's rather a personal matter. I think perhaps you had better leave the room, if you would, please.
You may wait in the front room, Miss Page.
But, Mr. Otis, if it's really all that bad, perhaps...
No. Please leave. Please leave this room.
This room is completely soundproofed.
Sit down.
I'm not surprised Miss Aaron thought this might kill me. I'm rather surprised it didn't.
Once you have recovered from the shock, you may be tempted to minimize the damage to your firm by allowing the culprit to escape his doom. It is conceivable that you might cheat the police of their prey in this manner, but not me. My self-esteem has been severely injured, and I can only find satisfaction by exposing the murderer.
It is mere conjecture that a member of my firm killed...
Sorry! You're an ostrich, sir!
I reserve comment on your suggestion that I have been moved by personal consideration to balk justice. Now, what do you want to do?
If you help me, I have two objectives: to get the murderer and to make sure that your firm suffers as little as possible. If you don't, I'll only have one.
Well, then, let us begin.
This might be prolonged. Miss Page might not wish to wait.
Oh, a good idea. Perhaps you would bring Miss Page back here. Would you do so? Yes, you. Please, Miss Page, back in the room.
As I entered the front room, there were words on the tip of my tongue, but once again, that was as far as they got. I was prepared to see her lying under the window with my necktie around her throat, even though I was still wearing it. I was relieved to see she wasn't.
She's not there.
She climbed out the window.
Both doors were locked, the window's open, so I think she probably walked...
Have you any notion why Miss Page might have been impelled to leave by a window?
What's going on here? I'm not feeling well. I just arrived in this house. I've not had a good time here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I need my pills. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe we should do this another time.
No, please. Let's go on. But please,
Are those pills reliable?
They are very reliable. They're far more reliable than any of you people here. Now give me that water.
Man is having a seizure. Get him water.
Good Lord.
Are you sufficiently calmed?
Yes, sir.
It might be suggested that X was in a position to give Mrs. Sorrell information against her husband, your client. Is that true?
Yes, there was a divorce. But blackmail would be a better word for it. Not technically. But that's about the sum of it.
And for the next 2 hours, Otis emptied the bag, which for a lawyer must have been quite a unique experience. As Rita Ramsey, Mrs. Sorrell dazzled Broadway in Reach for the Moon. For 2 years, she continued to dazzle Broadway while spurning Morton Sorrell. But then one day, she abandoned her career to marry him. The marriage was on the rocks in a year. The lovely Rita had become a missus to get her paws on a bale of dough, and she was not going to settle for the terms of the marriage agreement. She wanted more than half, and she had carefully collected evidence of certain enterprises of Sorrell's to get it.
And which member of your firm was in a position to give her weapons?
All of them. Our client is vulnerable, and we have frequently conferred on it.
The three partners, Edie, Heidecker, and
Miles Heidecker had appeared for Mrs. Sorrell when she'd been sued by her former agent. He was tight with money and too interested in his work and his hobbies, chess and politics, to bother with women, including Mrs. Sorrell. Frank Edie, the brilliant idea man, had drafted the Sorrell marriage agreement. Married, 2 children, interest in other women, definitely, but no obvious interest in Mrs. Sorrell. Young Gregory Jett made partner when he won a big case for Morton Sorrell's corporation. He was a frequent guest at the Sorrell penthouse, but he hadn't been noticeably attentive to his hostess. Jett was single and careless about his income and outgo. He owed money to the firm.
As I say, I can't imagine any of these three being involved in what we're talking about.
Fritz? Fritz?
When I let him out at 2 hours past midnight, Otis was still alive. He had wanted to know what Wolfe would do, and Wolfe couldn't tell him, because he didn't know himself.
Look, will you please, look, you're destroying my hat.
Yes? I have 2 ducks, turnips a la glace, and wild rice.
No! You know very well I never eat at night.
But you have had no dinner!
No! Let me starve!
I can make you an omelet, anything!
No! Go to bed!
Want me to call Saul Fred Norrie?
No. If I don't know how I'm going to proceed, how the deuce can I have errands for them?
Is that rhetorical?
No, it is not. There are the obvious, witless tasks of interrogating the law firm personnel and finding the restaurant. By mid-morning, Mr. Kramer will have 100 men pursuing those.
200. This is special.
Will they tackle Rita Sorrell?
Not right away. Kramer warned me about mentioning Bertha Aaron's observation. Evidently, they want to save that one.
You have a flair for dealing with personable young women.
Yeah, sure, they melt like chocolate bars in the sun. But if you think I can ask that specimen who she had lunch with in that cheap restaurant and she's gonna murmur his name in my ear...
Could you bring her here?
What, to see your orchids?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm not myself.
I spent the next morning composing a note to Mrs. Morton Sorrell, claiming I'd seen her in that lunchroom with an interesting companion. Then I beat it to Lon Cohen's to find out where to deliver it.
What, are you kidding me? Rita Sorrell. You want Rita Sorrell's address. What for?
Well, now, as a gentleman, I can't say.
Yeah, she don't know the meaning of that word.
Come on, you know I'm good for it.
Exclusive, right?
Is there any other kind?
All right. She decamped her husband's digs on Park Avenue for the Churchill Towers, I think. Yeah, Churchill Towers on 63rd. Archie, she's never going to see you.
Oh, yeah? Even money that I'm sitting in Rita Sorrell's apartment within 10 minutes.
Daring, very daring. All right, 3 gets you 2. You're going to be sitting on a curb for an hour, and then you're going to get sent home. We're on.
Oh, no, I'm just saying goodbye. Thank you, Lon. Churchill Towers.
Yeah, exclusive.
She obviously wanted to know who had seen her in that lunchroom. Since that alone confirmed that she was there, I decided not to waste my first lie of the day and tell her the absolute truth.
Well, at least you're handsome.
Well.
Very handsome. But what's this about? It's crazy. Where'd you get it?
I wrote it. I made it up. The card was just a trick so I could get to you. My name is Archie Goodwin, and I have been at your feet for years. See? The only pictures in my heart are of you. And one smile from you, just for me, it would be rapture. See, my constant dream, now that you left your husband, would be that I could render some little service, some small thing, some big thing, you know, to earn me that smile.
Have you any particular service in mind?
I can sew buttons.
So can I. Come in.
You know, I could walk along behind you
Mm-hmm.
and carry your umbrella or your rubbers in case it rained or snowed.
Well, it might be better to carry a gun.
Oh?
You mentioned my husband. Are you brave?
Well, I would be if you were watching. You might have read, Mrs. Sorrell, something about a murder in Nero Wolfe's office yesterday. The victim, Bertha Aaron, was a private secretary to Lamont Otis, who's a senior...
Oh, and you said that so nicely about my pictures in your heart. Nero Wolfe is working for my husband, isn't he?
No, he's not. No, he's not working for anyone but himself.
You're lying.
I only allow myself so many lies in the day, Mrs. Sorrell. Nero Wolfe wants to get even with whoever killed that woman in his office, and he thought maybe you could tell me something about Bertha Aaron.
I can't. Well, I never even noticed her.
Well, that's too bad. I'm still at your feet.
And I like you there. You're very handsome. Would Mr. Wolfe work for me?
If he did, he'd soak you. And if he's got any pictures in his heart, which I doubt, they're not of beautiful women. But you could call him, ask him.
Well, I'll have to think about it. I may ring you later. I'm sorry I can't help.
You never would have dreamed she was a champion bloodsucker. When I got back to the brownstone, I expected to find Wolfe settled in his chair behind his desk with his current book. But he wasn't.
Good morning.
Good morning.
forgot to leave a necktie in there.
Yes, no, the necktie. We'll discuss that someday, the necktie. Ebenezer?
No, elite.
Yeah. What are you preparing?
Lunch, if you're interested.
Of course. That's Gregory Jett. He just spent the morning in the district attorney's office. I excused myself because I wanted to hear from you before speaking with him. I thought I might observe him.
Well, that's a good idea, because he may have muttered, "By golly, the rug is missing," did he?
That's enough of this foolery. Did you speak with that woman?
I did. She told me I was handsome. Twice.
Did she admit to being in the lunchroom?
No, we talked for about 5 minutes. It never came up. She never mentioned it. But she let me in. And she may not suspect that there's a connection between her being in the lunchroom and the murder, but it's doubtful. Oh, she's tough as nails. She's after 30 million. By the way, this Gregory Jett guy, what's eating him?
I don't know. We shall see.
What?
I told you my business was urgent. You're rather cheeky, aren't you?
Moderately so. If there is any pressure, sir, the pressure is on you, not on me.
I demand to know what was in the statement that your man here gave to the police, and to show it to Mr. Otis. An old man suffering from shock over the death of his secretary was irresponsible and reprehensible.
Well, cheek meets cheek. I must buckle my breastplate. Suppose I choose to deny the existence of such a statement.
Damn you. She said she saw Goodwin give it to him.
When did Miss Page tell you this?
Why, last night, on the phone. We are engaged. It has not been announced.
Ah, then your explanation must now account not only for your own concern, but also for Miss Page's flight through a window.
Miss Page knew Miss Aaron had knowledge of a certain, episode of which Mr. Otis would have violently disapproved.
Ah, and the nature of this episode?
I can't tell you, not even in confidence.
Did it concern Mrs. Morton-Sorrell?
So that's it! I want to know. I demand to see that statement. I have a right.
Don't start barking again. There was nothing in it, either explicit or elusive, concerning the episode that you have just volunteered to tell me about. Thank you anyway.
Mr. Wolfe, the rest of the partnership to see you, straight from the police precinct. Jett, believe you know Eeney and Heidecker?
Jett, what are you doing here?
I have my reasons. Police questions?
Well, obviously they think she was killed by someone connected with the firm.
Well, judging by their questions, they don't just think it, they know it, but they don't say why.
Mr. Wolfe, what was she here for?
Oh, I don't know, as I never saw her alive.
Mr. Goodwin, you admitted her. Was she alone? Did you see anyone else around on the sidewalk?
No, it was dark, of course. This time of year it gets dark around 4:46.
And you conducted her in here. Did you leave the door open?
Generally, I make a habit of making sure that the door is locked.
Habits are dangerous things. What did she tell you?
The time had come for my first lie of the day.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You expect me to believe that you did not insist on knowing the nature of her case before you presented it to your employer?
You don't have to. Nero Wolfe's office, Archie Goodwin speaking.
This is Rita Sorrell, Mr. Goodwin. I have decided...
Hold on. You remember I told you about that woman who told me that I was handsome? Yeah, she's on the phone.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. You decided what?
I have decided that you were too clever for me. Not mentioning at all what you had written on the card when that was what you came for. You want to know who the man was, don't you?
Yeah, well, it would be most helpful, of course.
And I want to help. You're so very handsome. His name is Gregory Jett.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes.
She's a confounded nuisance. But I suppose we'll have to humor her. You'll have to recant.
Completely.
Yeah.
Who was that call from?
No more cross-examination. That was Mrs. Morton-Sorrell on the phone.
What?
Archie?
Yeah, well, if it had been 20 seconds earlier, the call, I wouldn't have had to lie. See, Bertha Aaron told me several things. One, that a member of the firm was seen in conference with Mrs. Sorrell. And two, that when confronted about this, the member of the firm had no explanation whatsoever.
This is incredible. I don't believe it. Nor do I. Do you expect us to believe
I
this?
said no more cross-examination, Mr. Hadeker. Miss Aaron did not name him, but Mrs. Sorrell just did, although I question her veracity. Speaking to only one of you, if you could be identified by your whereabouts, the police would have you in custody. For reasons of their own, they chose not to question your whereabouts on the night of the meeting, but I do. So let's get to it. Find seats for yourselves.
Well, the partnership all had good alibis. Like good lawyers, they even had people to verify them. They left together as partners, 3 abreast, a solid front of mutual trust and understanding. In a pig's eye. Do you want me to put Saul on the alibis?
Phooey! One with his fiancée, one watching a chess tournament, and the other one at home with children in bed sleeping. Worthless.
I was afraid of that. If you're a mere top-flight detective like me, you'd rather go after an alibi than eat. You ask a man where he was at 11 minutes past 8, you put it in your notebook, and then you wear out a pair of good shoes looking for somebody who says he was somewhere else. But if you're a genius, you don't give a damn about alibis. All you care about is food. I think it's that the problem is too simple. See, we know 1 of 3 men committed murder. We know how, where, and when. So we gotta figure out who. That's it, right? Well, it's simple. Eeney, meeny, murder, mo. Is it this rancor? Is it this pimple on your brain? Is it that your brain processes are still muddled?
Lunch is served, sir.
Ah, yes. Because what this needs is a good stiff dose of genius, and now yours is taking off for lunch? One of Wolfe's principles is that he won't work his brain on business while he eats. But it was a week for violating principles.
Get out of here.
Lunch.
Get out of the way.
Do you have an appointment?
Yeah, we got a warrant for your arrest.
I'm back at 6 o'clock, Mr. Kramer.
For interfering with justice.
Tommy Rock, wait out in the front room. I'll be available at 6.
You revealed the contents of Goodwin's statement to men suspected of murder.
Which one of those 3 jackasses told you that? Was it Edie?
You knew damn well we were withholding that meeting. Furley.
Hands off! I am not bound to respect your tactics, either by statute or by custom.
I've been waiting for years to serve these, Wolfe.
Yes, but you don't really serve them, do you? So they're only cudgels for you to brandish. To what end do you make this display? What is it that you want? You want my help? Is that what this assertion of uniformed authority is about? You want my help, don't you?
I want the truth!
Phooey.
Phooey is right. We got Edie, Jet, and Hedecker.
Eeny, meeny, murder, and mo.
According to Goodwin's statement, one of them killed Bertha Aaron.
Yes.
But if a jury takes Goodwin's statement as it stands, they're off the hook. Pearlie, give me that paper. I got a chart. Bertha Aaron arrives at 5:20. Goodwin leaves her at 5:40, alive and well. When he gets back, it's 6:10, and she's dead. Now here's the problem. The 3 partners had a scheduled meeting at 5:30. Edie is there. Jet comes in a minute late. Hadecker rolls in at 5:45. He'd been out buying theater tickets, and they discussed the case until 6:35. You see what that means?
I can add.
Yeah, the only one who even fits is Hadecker. And if the timetable is right, he had 6 minutes to get in, kill her, go buy theater tickets, and get across town at rush hour. So either they're lying or Goodwin's lying.
There is a third assumption.
Yeah. That Bertha Aaron didn't mean she saw one of the partners in the lunchroom. She saw one of the other 20 lawyers associated with the firm.
Yes.
Look, Wolfe, I can imagine how you must have felt. Seeing her lying there with your necktie wrapped around her throat. You want the glory of getting this guy before we do. So you show Goodwin how to fake some reports, and we spend a couple of days chasing around. With your goddamn ego, that would seem perfectly all right. You wouldn't be obstructing justice. Remembering all the stunts I've seen you pull, do you deny that's what you did?
Serve your warrants, sir.
Do you deny that's what you did?
Serve your warrants! I defy you! Archie, get Mr. Parker. Tell him Mr. Kramer is waving feeble bits of paper at me. Have his secretary phone this number every 10 minutes for the next hour. If Fritz answers the phone and says we've been forcibly removed, he'll know where to find us.
Well?
Bart.
Oh, for the love of nuts!
Do you think it's occurred to him?
I doubt it. But when it does, he'll probably mess it up.
It has occurred to you.
Sure. I don't have a pimple on my brain.
Well, we must forestall him. What time is it?
If you just turned your head a little to the right, you'd see that there's a clock right there on the... It's 10 after 3.
Very well. We'll arrange it for 6 o'clock. Tell Mr. Kramer he may fetch his murderer at 7.
Mr. Wolfe, Miss Rita Ramsey, Sorrel.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Miss Ramsey.
Oh, thank you. I'm not in the habit of going to see men when they send for me. Maybe that's why I came.
Yes, well, unfortunately, our discussion is of a more serious nature. I need your help. I need your help in resolving a crisis in my self-esteem. Indeed, in my soul. For that, I want us to be frank and unreserved. I think we should be alone for that.
Why, Mr. Wolfe, you do know women.
Yes, Archie, if you please.
Bye, Archie.
You told Mr. Goodwin on the phone that you had lunch with a man who was a partner at the law firm which represents your husband.
Oh, he was representing himself.
You told Mr. Goodwin on the phone today that that man was Gregory Jett.
What if I don't deny it? What if I repeat it? It was Gregory Jett.
If, in addition to scattering dust, you were gratifying an animus, you'd better try again. It wasn't Mr. Jett, it was Mr. Heidegger.
So, I sat in a booth with a man and didn't know who he was? I take it back. You know nothing of women.
25 hours ago, he followed Miss Aaron to this address, and when he saw her enter my house, he sought a phone.
What for?
To call you, madam, to tell you that your scheme had been revealed. Mr. Heidegger does not believe that you came here determined to murder her. He believes that when you saw her alone and learned that she had not yet seen me, on an impulse you seized a paperweight and struck her. He believes that when you saw the necktie on this desk...
If he says I killed that woman, he's lying. He killed her. Well, that's why I've come here today, to put it right. He did phone me yesterday. Twice. First to warn me we had been seen, and an hour later to say that he had dealt with it. That our plan, his plan, was safe. So I knew he had killed her. Well, that's why I've come here today, to put it right. Am I too late?
No, a purge can both cleanse your conscience and end the the terrifying dilemma that is in my soul. But there is a crucial piece that we need. What time did he phone you the second time?
I don't know exactly.
It's important. It's important that we be precise, both for the police and for the court.
It was between 5 and 6. Yes, around 5:30.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm sure. He came to me about a month ago. He said he had information about my husband that I could use to get my rights.
A lie. I never went to her. She came to me.
Oh, now you talk? When you were accused of murder, you had nothing to say.
He wanted me to agree to pay him $1 million for it.
Would you be prepared to testify under oath?
I suppose I'll have to.
Then you're a dunce, madam.
Oh, no, Mr. Wolfe. I'm not a dunce.
Oh, but you are. One detail alone would sink you. One single simple fact.
What are you talking about?
When you came here yesterday, you were not in a hurry. You were not contemplating murder. So you had no reason to use caution.
I didn't come here at all.
I need only telephone Inspector Kramer and tell him to locate the cab driver who picked you up at or near the Churchill yesterday afternoon and drove you here. He will have noted the time.
Oh, yes? Then why don't you? There's the phone. Use it.
Because 25 hours ago, here in this room, you subjected me, madam, to the most severe humiliation that I have suffered in many years. And I am getting even. I am watching you squirm. I will not say that it gives me pleasure.
No, you... Let me! I'm going out! Let me out! Unhand me, you...
You are the thief!
No, you are the thief, sir! I'm going to...
Archie!
Archie! Archie! Archie! There's been a gross misunderstanding. It's time for me to leave. It's time for my show.
Stop.
What are you doing here? What is going on? Archie! Archie, let me go! I've got to do my show. My audience is waiting.
Just a minute, Mr. Kramer.
Yeah.
As you know, I dislike appearing in court and being subjected to the public gaze.
You're a goddamn screwball. That's all I know.
If you tell the district attorney that Mr. Goodwin is capable of testifying on my behalf, I will not find it necessary to relate to the newspapers how the police overlooked such an obvious assumption as the one I acted upon. Cards?